Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to Broku72, and today I'm doing a what if video. What if a Saiyan actually landed on Earth? How could we fight back? What would we do? Would we die? Would we survive? I want to go through and kind of talk about that. This would be an interesting thing. I was thinking about this randomly the other day. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna make a video on that. So this is what if a Saiyan landed on Earth in real life. And so for the sake of this video, I'm gonna basically, it's just gonna be a random Saiyan who has the same power level as Raditz. So he has a power level of 1500s, which means that this Saiyan would have planet level durability, planet level attack potency, can shoot ki blasts from his hands, and can also fly at least relativistic to potentially light speed levels of speed, and also would be a great combatant, would have the scouter to tell where everybody was at on Earth, and would also be able to basically once or twice a month transform into an Ozaru, increasing the power tenfold, and that would be because of the full moon. So I think how this would go down is the governments of the world would see a weird orb object that is plummeting towards Earth, and it would land on Earth, and all the world governments would pretty much have their eye on this, or at least all the scientists of the world government. And for this scenario, we're gonna have this Saiyan's pod landing somewhere outside of Omaha, Nebraska. So this is somewhere in the Midwest of the United States. Of course, the United States is gonna be on high alert because an unidentified flying object just landed in their own backyard. And of course, they would try and keep this quiet because they wouldn't want the people of the United States to go into a panic. With an event this big, the word would get out very, very fast because there are private scientists, amateur scientists that would be looking into the sky, and they would see the space object flying down. And even if the information was suppressed, they could get people through forums like Reddit to find where the space pod would have landed, and eventually the United States, they would probably need to disclose that they are about to make first contact with potentially a different alien race. This space pod has landed out in the cornfield of somewhere in the outskirts of Omaha, Nebraska. The United States has sent tanks, hundreds of United States soldiers, ambassadors, they have helicopters circling, they have jets ready, and they have AC-130s in the air, ready just in case this alien, or whatever this is a threat. As they are encircling the Saiyan pod surrounding it, the pod opens up and out walks a Saiyan, or to the humans of Earth, they would see this as a man. Saiyans look like humans, they are very, very similar. But of course, they'd see a weird outfit, which would be the Saiyan armor, long shaggy hair, and extreme muscle mass that is basically impossible to have as a human. And then also they would see the tail. Immediately, people watching on live streams would be theorizing if this person was the missing link of what a human was between a chimp and a human. People talk about the missing link, and people would be freaking out and wondering why this person looks so much like a human. And one of the United States ambassadors is sitting hundreds of feet away from the pod with a sound horn yelling into it saying that we are peaceful and trying to make contact with this alien. And before he can finish his sentence, immediately the Saiyan blitzes the ambassador of the United States and with a single jab blows a hole through his stomach and absolutely kills the ambassador. Now knowing that the alien is a threat, the United States would try and defeat it, and obviously they would see that this alien, this Saiyan, would be not only dodging the vast majority of all of these bullets that would be hailing towards him, but even if they did hit him, they wouldn't do any damage. And they see him be able to shoot what looks like laser beams out of his hands and destroying the tanks. He's tanking blasts from the tanks. He's lifting up the tanks and throwing them. That this alien is not a man like he may look like. He is a super being. He has the powers of a superhero in fiction, or a super villain more accurately, and he is potentially a god. With many people watching his incredible feats around the world, many people would claim this to be a demon, a work of a devil, or many people would say this is retribution, this is Judgment Day, and that this is God. Many religions around the world would claim this Saiyan to be one of their gods, and cults around the world would also spring up in order to worship whoever or whatever this being is. Now, with all of the soldiers defeated around him, all of the planes in the sky shot down by this Saiyan, he would go to Omaha because he would sense the mass amounts of power levels, and he would destroy the city with a single blow. Now, the Saiyan would look to his west, and he would sense a decent amount of power levels, but not that many. But he would look to the east, and he would see a lot more power levels, because the east is a more heavily populated part of the United States. So this Saiyan heads east and continues his path of destruction to clean off the humans from this planet so they could sell Earth, and the United States and the world goes into a panic. Of course, at first the United States might think this was an attack from a different country, because that would of course have to be one of the culprits, because we have no idea what's going on here. And that might be one of the theories at first, and with the Saiyan destroying many different cities over the course of just a few days, because of course Saiyans get hungry, the Saiyan's gonna probably find this amazing earthling cuisine and stop and take breaks and all that stuff. He's not gonna probably destroy everything within a day, so he's gonna take days, and he's gonna destroy city by city by city by city, probably several cities, if not tens of cities per day. And after like 2 days of just chaos, it has been like 2 days of non-stop rocket-propelled grenades hurled at him, and nothing is slowing him down. The United States would have to do a very bad thing to try and stop the Saiyan, and that would be they would need to nuke him, as nothing else is stopping him. So while the Saiyan is destroying New York and just defeating and destroying, knocking down buildings, he is going crazy. The United States shoots an ICBM that is launched from nearby and is going to hit New York in minutes, basically within yards or tens of yards from the Saiyan. And when the nuke hits, New York City is enveloped in a massive fire wave and shock waves, and even towns surrounding New York are hit with EMP blasts from the nuclear weapon, which means all electronics are useless. The humans are looking with many different cameras and angles up in the sky to look down at New York to see if this attack worked. And at first, within the midst of the blast, nothing is there. No buildings are left, and people start cheering that they have defeated this alien, this Saiyan. And then he walks out of this blast, and he is completely fine. If this Saiyan has planet-level durability, well, a nuke is going to do nothing to him. And with now the eastern portion of the United States pretty much destroyed, the Saiyan flies over the Atlantic Ocean and lands in Europe, and the chaos begins to spread across the world. This Saiyan, this alien, is not trying to destroy just America. He's trying to destroy everybody. With this, world governments from around the entire globe are in contact with each other, trying to figure out what to do. Even former enemies are now working together as allies. The greatest scientists in the world are pretty much given infinite amounts of money and resources to try and figure out a way how to stop this threat. They're analyzing hours and hours of footage of this being who is massively faster than anything they can create, massively stronger than anything they can create, and massively more durable than anything they can create. So multiple projects of ways to stop this threat are started. Multiple projects around the world. Joint groups of scientists and military leaders are trying to figure out how to survive or how to stop this thing. The United States clears a lot of secrets up with other governments around the world. The United States pulls up the full information from the Roswell incident in 1947 and shows probably why technology rapidly increased so fast from the Roswell incident until now, because we were using reverse engineered technology. At least that's a theory or a hypothesis or a conspiracy theory that's why. And especially fighter jet technology increased so rapidly from 1947, the Roswell incident, until now. Releasing the full amount of technology, the group of scientists are given basically an infinite amount of resources. They are given a near infinite amount of money to work with this Roswell tech, to reverse engineer it, to create something that could potentially defeat this alien. The scientist group get together and they create exoskeleton suits similar to that of Gundams from the Mobile Suit Gundam anime. These exosuits, which are giant in stature, are basically controlled by the person combined with an AI that has interface and cameras around so they can fastly react to different attacks and move fast. In these robot suits, humans can move faster than ever thought before, faster than even fighter jets that could get up to Mach 2, Mach 3. Now, in this suit, they are massively faster than the speed of sound. They have durability that is dramatic as the Roswell alien ships. They could survive asteroids hitting them while they're traversing through space. And so, these robot mech mobile Gundam suits that the Earthlings are using are stronger, they're more durable than a nuclear bomb. And when they punch it so fast it is equivalent to that of a nuclear blast. So combining this with laser technology, which is extremely hot beams of light that will melt things nearly instantly, an army of 100 of these humans in exoskeleton suits rushes towards the Saiyan. And despite this being an improvement from what the Saiyan has fought, and it did make it a little bit less boring, he would still be far, far strong enough to defeat all of the humans in these mech suits effortlessly. But the interesting thing here, guys, is that with the Saiyan being alive and being confirmed to be real, he would also confirm the existence of chi, or ki, which is a lot of people believe to be the life energy. And him shooting beams out of his hand would give inspiration to many different cultures around the world of how to properly manipulate ki, or chi. And so just days after the defeat of the 100 mech humans against this Saiyan, a lone monk is seen flying towards the United States. People are in shock that a human is flying, and so is this Saiyan. He senses his power level on the scouter, and he senses a power level of 100. And this person is able to fly at massively faster than the speed of sound. He is also able to shoot energy like ki blast out of his hand. And while he does fight this Saiyan, he is ultimately defeated and killed. But the governments and scientists of the world are in shock that somebody was able to have similar powers to this alien. And so they tracked this monk back to his own tribe of people, and they found these people who were learning to practice chi, or ki, and because of that we're able to manipulate it and be able to gain similar powers to that of the Saiyan. Now, these scientists worked together with these monks and were able to combine science with spirituality. As, like you know, in Dragon Ball, you can use your ki and apply that to objects. That's why Trunks' sword was basically able to survive blast, because he was putting his ki onto it. And just like in the filler episodes of the baseball arc, they were able to throw the baseball that fast and have it be that powerful because they can put their ki on it. So these monks were training these soldiers how to use their chi, or their ki, and they combined that with the mech suit to make them much, much more powerful. And so another group of these human mechs with the ability to manipulate chi were sent after the Saiyan. And they did give the fight pretty hard to this Saiyan, but still, even with the Saiyan being outnumbered dozens to one, he still pretty easily defeated them all, although it was much less boring than before. At this point, now nearly a month since the first contact, most of the world has been completely decimated. The population of the planet is down 99%, and majority of countries and continents have been decimated. Just small pockets of resistance or people trying to just make by are left, and this leads to the governments and the scientists realizing that they don't have time to master technology or master the manipulation of chi, so they must fall back on their other plans. So out of the many different soldiers, scientists, and politicians and important people, one is sent in a spaceship that is sent into the other part of the solar system to land on one of Jupiter or Saturn's moons. One could be Europa. There are several moons that have been theorized by scientists to likely be able to have humans live on it. And another group of scientists are sent underneath the Earth's oceans towards the bottom in these massive technological hub that is similar to a submarine. And with their new technology, they're able to stay on Earth undetected by using these rays that mess up the actual ability to scan ki. They are able to conceal themselves and learn how to suppress their chi as well. So the Saiyan will never find them underwater, and this will give the humans that stay on Earth, that live under the water, able to track what is going on the Earth very well. These are the two other projects that were created at the same time of the project that was created to defeat the alien. So these have been in the works for a long time, and if you put together basically and all the best scientists in the world with nearly infinite amounts of backing and funding, while also them having to work fast because of aliens attacking, they could probably get something done like that, especially using the Roswell tech that I'm theorizing could possibly exist. They could definitely do that in that amount of time. But anyways, guys, that's where I'm getting enough of the story. Humans that are left on Earth, they're pretty much screwed unless if they're in the submarine underwater. Also, humans left Earth to go onto one of Jupiter or Saturn's moons to try and survive and one day study both technology and chi to become strong enough one day to fight this alien that has taken over Earth. That's it for the story, guys. Let me know what you think down below. Should I do a part 2, or is this just too stupid to not do a part 2? Because honestly, I could see it turning out that way. But anyways, guys, hope you have an amazing day. Peace out.